today, we are very lucky to have someone who covers a number of TV shows over on her channel, Layla, including reacting to every episode of A League of Their Own. She's covering Yellow Jackets, Dead to Me, Stupid Wife. She's got Grey's Anatomy. There's all kind. Batwoman is on there. All kinds of great stuff. Just lots of content over on her YouTube channel. Also, I have her Twitter, her Instagram linked in the description. Please give her a follow at Layla Stuff. Please help me welcome Agus.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, Agus?
I'm great. Just drinking my mate.
Mate.
Yeah.
I love it. Agus, can you sort of give us the short version of why you decided to cover A League of Their Own on your channel?
Well, that's just easy. I mean, Darcy Corden was in it, and that's enough, I guess. So I saw her on The Good Place, and I loved her as Janet. She was like my favorite. So I was like, oh my God, she's in this. And I saw like on Twitter a clip of her and Carson. I was like, oh, she's playing a queer character. So I was like, what is this about? So yeah, I watched the trailer. So it was like baseball. I don't know anything about baseball, but I was like, okay, I'll try it out, see what it's about. And yeah, that's pretty much why I started it. Just Darcy.
You and half the fan base is watching for Darcy Corden. So
yeah. I did fall in love with Abby with Carson. I mean, she was the cutest. So
yes.
She
She's very
won
cute.
My heart.
We'll have to see who we each love the most at the end of the episode. Well, because this is the finale, of course, we can't just have one special guest host. We got to have two for the finale. Joining us is one of the hardest working producers in Chicago, a talented comedian, writer, actor, not to mention a badass mascot. Oh, did you think that was it? Wrong. No, it's not. She's also a radio DJ, Amy. Is there anything you don't do?
I don't play baseball.
Okay. We found the one thing. Make sure you check out Bad Waves Radio on YouTube, the show Amy hosts featuring all kinds of Chicago musicians and performers. And if you are in the Chicago area, this Friday, October 7th, Bad Waves Remix will be live at Redline Virtual Reality. There will be a link to all of this in the description, including all of Amy's socials. Please give a warm welcome to Amy Nico Schwartz.
Thank you.
Amy, I gotta say, I was a little surprised. I know how busy you are. And I think I mentioned to you, like, oh, we're covering the show. I want to have you on the pod. But I kind of like thought maybe you I didn't know if you would watch it. So was there something besides the illustrious opportunity to recap with us on Lescast that drew you to the show?
Well, my girlfriend really wanted to watch it, so that helped get me watching it quicker. No, I was really excited about it because I love Abby Jacobson from, Broad City, fellow comedian, and then I grew up being a jock, not baseball, but, soccer and skateboarding, snowboarding, all that stuff. So I was pretty excited to see it. And this was like one of my favorite movies as a kid. So the remake, I was just so excited to see it. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Listeners, Amy is also a badass snowboarder. There really is nothing you don't do, Amy. Okay, I swear. Okay, I have a confession. I don't know what you two do when you get nervous, but when I get nervous, I sometimes have to fill the space, which is why I started a podcast. Okay, let's jump in. Let's get this recap going. We start the finale out by learning things have not been going so good for the Peaches. In the playoffs, they've lost 2 games. And this was kind of an inevitable to me. They can't just like have the Peaches win or lose. They got to build it up more. How do we do that? Make it so that they can't lose any more games. But after their loss, Charlie is there. And Charlie's like, who cares? We're going to have kids one day. Like,
Yeah.
yikes.
Red Bull, ball and chain.
Yeah. It was a great addition. He came when we needed him. We didn't, but okay. He was there.
saying just what all the ladies need to say. Greta's waiting over in the wings for God knows what reason. Like, that doesn't look suspicious at all, Greta. Sarge wants Carson to say something, which makes sense. And her big speech ends up being a regurgitated version of this stuff Charlie was saying to her.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can give her too hard a time because I think she's also like shitting bricks over Shirley finding out about her and Greta. So I feel like she's distracted.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, like, August, the show acted like this was the worst speech in the world. But I've seen stuff like this portrayed in movies, and when somebody's like, "We've already won, it doesn't matter." Sometimes everybody's like, "Yeah, we're free.
Yeah.
It works."
Yeah. No, I think it's like you think like, oh, okay, we got here, so you start getting more chill about it, and then you just don't go to, like, how you say this in English, you don't do your best like to get there. So I was like, I mean, it's not that bad of a speech, Carson, but I get that the way Greta was looking at her, it was like okay, he told you to say that. He kind of put that in your brain, and you're kind of losing yourself, and you're like saying what he wants you to say, and you're not hearing yourself saying like, well, no, we need to do better. Like, we gotta win. It's not just about, oh, we got here, great, this is awesome, we got to the championship, it's all good. No, let's win this shit. So she didn't do that.
You make a good point. That wasn't really her style that got them on their streak. Like, her style was like, let's do this, like pushing them,
screams a
them
lot.
Yeah.
That would have not worked in my sports days.
No? You would have been like...
we would have been like, what? We have to win. What do you mean we have to win?
Yes.
Like, what are you doing? Yeah. Like, that would have not worked on my soccer team. No. So
Amy, are you wanting like the Mighty Ducks coach who's like, you better get the W?
Yeah. Well, we actually watched Ladybugs.
Wait, what?
Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh, I don't know that reference.
Yeah, it's pretty niche, maybe soccer fans, but
got it.
We were amped up. We weren't going to be like, oh, we already won. Like, I mean, I don't know. That sounds like something like someone filling in as coach would have to say, which she was originally.
Yeah.
So, but you started already kind of get her in her world, and I don't know. You're saying what your husband said, and everyone knew.
Yeah. I guess she was feeling kind of down because, I mean, they were losing a lot, and maybe she was like, oh shit, I'm not doing great. So I guess she kind of accepted that advice from Charlie, but it wasn't her. So, and that's what Greta tells her, like, where are you? Like, it's not you. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think she says, find a way to show up.
Yeah, it's kind of like she just disappeared and she was this other person. And Greta's like, she says, like, I didn't leave California or Joe for this shit you're talking about. No, we got here to win. And that's what you need to say.
Greta has a point. Like, she just was like, come on, we're going to do this. We need you. So yeah, like, what a slap in the face to be like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I guess you could have let me go then if it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Exactly.
We get a scene. I don't know if Carson maybe is inspired by Greta's, challenge, but we get a really kind of hilarious, kind of tough for Charlie scene to watch. Where, Amy, what did you think of Carson's way of asking her husband to leave? She was like, "I need you to leave."
You gotta go. Yeah, and then the best part, he's like, all right, well, I'll watch the game. And she's like, nah.
Yeah.
You can't even be near this stage.
Bye.
You gotta leave town.
Carson says, I keep feeling you when I need to be feeling me. But I feel like what she meant was, I need to be feeling not you. Or maybe Greta.
Yeah.
She could have repeated that like that.
Thing, but hey, she got it done. But yeah, I felt bad for him. Like he got the PTSD. She's coming in all like, sorry, see ya. But he was the one that told her the championships,
Yeah.
Yeah, August, how would you tell your husband to get the F out of here?
I don't need you. Just
Ooh.
go.
Okay.
Like, well, that's something that bothered me because he felt like she didn't. Because well, this comes after that she gives him money to leave, and she's like, "Oh, you
Oh,
don't
yeah.
need me," and I'm like, "Why would she need you, honey?" I mean, it's not about that. That really got me off a bit on my reaction. Like the idea of necessity in a relationship. Like you don't need him. You have yourself. You can do whatever, but that's not love. That's not what a relationship be about. It's not about necessity. It's about just loving a person. And I mean, if she needs right now that you have to go to focus on herself and have like her own mind without you, I mean, you need to respect that and not be like, oh, you don't want me here. It's not that. It's just I need to focus and I can't do that with you here. So I mean, I wouldn't maybe say it in a better way than just go,
Yeah.
but be like, well, please just let me be with my thoughts, and I need this right now. Which
But August,
she
I
did.
like what you mentioned about the money part because I feel like Amy, if your partner hands you a stack of money, is the first thing you say or you're gonna say be like, "Oh, you don't need me, do you?" Like, is that a man thing? Is that just a man reaction?
Ooh, yeah. I will say, as a divorced woman who's married to a man, yeah,
Ew.
it can be. I know. Hey, I got free. But yeah, no, I think that is more of a man thing. Like, come on, like, and I was like, whoa, all your money? What are you doing, girl?
Throw some of that away
That's
for a
all
rainy
your money.
day.
You took half out. But
Oh.
yeah, no,
Especially a man in that time, obviously, because
yeah,
maybe right now it's not all like that, but in the 40s, I mean, obviously that was like hurting his ego, and
mhm.
yeah,
Yeah,
He
because the
seemed pretty
women were supposed to be.
progressive. Oh, sorry.
No, what was that, Amy? Go ahead.
I was just saying he seemed progressive, but still for that time, yeah,
Hmm.
it's still too much for him.
I actually liked him when he talked with her. I was like, well, he
Mhm.
seems really sweet. He's not like an asshole, you know? And they talk very freely, and I actually liked the way that they cared about each other. I mean, she obviously loved Greta as well, but I think she did have feelings for him, and she cared about him. So it was I hate the position she got it herself into because I mean she did love Greta, but
Well,
yeah.
since you bring it up, in some of the bonus clips, Will Graham and Abby Jacobson kind of essentially say, like, at first I thought maybe Carson was bi, and, not that
Mm,
it is a huge deal, but I don't know because in the bonus clips they were saying, like, oh, she loves him, but she's not in love with him.
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was
I felt the
confused
same when I
too.
watched it. Sorry.
No,
Go
no.
ahead.
That's what I was saying. I was going back and forth on if she was bi or not. Yep.
Mm,
Yeah,
Because
what do you think, Amy?
I think maybe she's it's like a spectrum, right? So I think
yeah,
she's maybe a little bi, but she leans more queer. So like that's my guess. Yeah.
That sounds
yeah,
right to me too.
yeah, yeah.
What do you all think of this next sequence we get of Max and Clance looking for a replacement roommate? I thought this was really fun.
Yeah. It was hilarious. I mean, their relationship is hilarious. The how they interact with each other, it's just precious. I love watching them, and especially in scenes like this when they are having fun. It's just a pleasure to watch them. It's amazing. It was just so
Yeah,
fun.
my favorite line was, "Yeah, I'm gonna stop you there. We're not gonna just throw a party every time you decide to pick up a broom." I don't know if it was Cheryl. I think it was Cheryl was so obsessed with the cleaning stuff.
Yeah.
Like the hot guy she almost picked.
Oh yeah.
She's like, "No,
Yeah.
I'm saving your marriage." It's no, no, no.
Yeah, and like a good friend, yeah, Max saves. Yeah, I
Max
think it was
can tell he's hot. Nope. He's
nope.
oh.
Yeah. Mm-mm. Nope. Yeah, that's good advice. If you're married, don't be a roommate with somebody you have the hots for.
Yeah.
Good advice overall.
Yeah. We follow up this like really funny roommate scene with a slow mo of Max and Clance walking through the factory. They're both wearing these like badass shades.
Yeah.
Max and Clance really shined in this finale to me.
Yeah. I mean, I love the fact that she got in the Defender, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. I'm so happy for her. And then she was like, but immediately I was like, oh my God, Tony, like she's going to see that. And I was like scared for a second. But then this sequence of them just being queens and just like, yeah, bitch, I'm in the paper, loved it. I think I was so proud of her. I mean, finally, she got a bit of recognition for her talent, which was amazing.
Yeah, she's had the first half, maybe even the first 3/4 of the season, just Max could not get a break at all.
Yeah.
And so it's nice that in the finale, really the last 2 episodes, maybe Max is just totally finally
Yeah.
getting to shine. I love it.
Totally.
What did you all think of the Screws coach half-assedly he doesn't swallow his pride so much as he like tastes it and then he's like, "Oh, you can practice with us."
Yeah. I mean, that sucked. I was like, bitch, no, don't go there. Like, he said no to you. Like, no, that's not it. And I love that she just, like, then we go to Carson and be like, yeah, she said no. I don't know how she said it, but I was so proud of her that she didn't fell for that. Because, yeah, he doesn't deserve her, honestly.
Good point. Speaking of the Max and Carson scene, they've become besties over season 1. And but then the conversation gets a little serious. It almost feels like Max being so happy talking about everything that's going on in her life almost triggers Carson, and Carson's like, "Oh yeah, right now my life sucks." Carson says that bit about how I wish I never knew what it felt like to be with a woman, that it wouldn't hurt like this. What did you think of that, Amy?
I mean, I think that was important to show like how she was feeling. So yeah, I think that was a good scene to show. I mean, it's like heartbreaking what she's going through, but I think it's something people experience, when they first come out that, they're like, well, it was easier before. But I think then long term, like I'm hoping season 2 they'll show it's gonna have the payoff. Like it was so worth it, so much better that she did,
Yeah.
hopefully we'll see.
Yeah.
But
I mean, yeah, I totally contemplated like, should I just stay in the closet my whole life? I come from this very conservative family. Yeah, very relatable.
Yeah. It sucks that she had to go through that, like, being with her and be like, oh, I love this, but at the same time, it's like I can't actually have it. So it does suck a lot to have that feeling inside of you. But I love what Max says, that it's like I rather have this for 5 minutes than a lifetime of before. And I just love that phrase. And when they just go to the 5, it's just so good. Because like, yeah, we need that little thing. At least you got to experience that and get that. Just take that from all of the bad.
Yeah,
So,
whoever wrote that quote, like that was a great line. One of the best lines of the season,
yeah,
maybe.
yeah, totally.
So let's see. We have another we get to the next game. We're in the locker room. Let's see. What did you two think? What would you give on a scale of 1 to 10? What would each of you give Carson's pregame speech here with the book and talking about the concrete and all of that?
I think it was let's see, scale 1 to 10.
10 being good.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, what do you think of winning? What?
I would give it like a 8.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I don't know. The writing on the wall, if you count that and then it bumps it up to a 9 maybe because they were just like, let's do it.
Okay, you brought it up. Okay, I would Agus, what would you give it through 1 through 10?
I mean, I'm an emotional person. I loved it. I would say a 10.
Wow.
I love it. I mean, the book. I mean, you quoted a book that's smart. I mean, I don't do smarts. I don't read that much. but she quoted a book. I mean, I'm like, that's very nerdy. So I would say it was amazing. And I've never read the book, but as I remember someone told me a tree grows in Brooklyn, and I love that Greta gave that to her in like the earlier episodes, and then it kind of just rounded it all up, and it was like, oh, here it comes again. Like she didn't just give it to her, then they brought it back, and they are like, okay, this is what the book says, and I love that they put it there and made it.
Yeah, the writers
This is
really
what's
killed it.
happening. Yeah,
Amy, I
totally.
want to get to the names on the wall, okay? Because I have some stuff to say about that. But I want to read off part of this because, August, you gave it a 10. It is pretty cool. Let's see. I wrote this down. Let me be something every minute of every hour of my life. Let me be cold. Let me be warm. Let me be hungry or have too much to eat. Let me be honorable or let me sin. Only let me be something every blessed minute.
Love it. Oh my God. It's so poetic. So
Yes,
good.
yes. Okay, so the names. You loved the names on the wall, Amy?
Yeah. Because these are women back then writing their names on the wall,
They're
like
so small. It's like 2 inches of names.
It's
but like
something.
the gall it took to write them on the wall, like I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Not
enjoyed
even
it.
a wall. It wasn't a wall, even that, but just a
It's like a
post.
pillar.
Yeah. That's
Okay,
it.
you're right. It's the 1940s, but I was like, oh, you could just take like a magic eraser and just like one swoop, those would be gone.
Well, it's the symbolism that
Yeah.
matters, guys.
Yes. Okay.
Just
Good
that.
point. So Carson mentions Dove Porter in the speech. I was like, oh yeah, that guy. I totally forgot about him. What was the point of the Dove Porter plot line at the beginning of the season?
I'm glad they cut him out. Because I think he was
It was
going to turn
useless.
around well.
Yeah.
But why
I
did they bring him on for those first couple episodes?
Because he's a man.
Oh, because you have to have a man.
they're
Yeah,
gonna have
of
a
course.
man. Instead of
need
like
a man.
in baseball, they made it like we're just gonna cut him. He's done. He's done spoiling baseball. I thought it was great because I was kind of worried they were gonna try to make him too like Tom Hanks in the original League of Their Own, and it's just not really believable the way it's set up. So I was just kind of like, yeah, they did it themselves. They didn't need him. They did it.
Okay.
I think it was
Yeah,
a
I
good
really.
transition for having him and then needing someone to replace him. And obviously that was Carson. So, I mean, it had a purpose, I guess, because we needed Carson as our leader. So,
You're right. It was a really fun storyline when Carson and Lupe co-coach it together, and then Carson really develops her coaching skills too. So you're right. It is nice that he was gone, but I actually thought they were going to bring him back for the finale. Were you too surprised that they didn't have him come back ever again?
Not really. I wasn't thinking about him that much. Dove Porter? Who was that? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Okay. Well, you might have thought Carson was all speeched out, but she wasn't. She's got one more in the cannon, and it's going to Shirley. She gives her a much needed lecture. She calls her out. She says, "You're afraid of everything and everyone." And she's like, "Oh, and I am queer. F you, bitch. Do whatever you want."
Love that.
She's like, I coaxed you through all your anxiety. That's how you're doing. You're on your own. And I gotta give it to her. Eating the cans, that was one of my favorite parts. The dented cans.
Yes, yeah, when she comes back.
I was so confused about that. I don't know if it was dented. I didn't get that word. That's my problem for not watching this with Spanish subtitles. And I was like, what cans? What does that mean? Then I saw the cans that she was eating from cans. And I was like, okay, why?
Is botulism still a thing? Like, should you still? I actually buy dented cans all the time. Should I not?
Me too. I don't know.
Oh, me and August gonna be in trouble.
But I have cans, but I don't. I mean, can you guys explain to me what is dented cans?
Oh, like it's like a mark on going in, like as if somebody squeezed, like Popeye squeezed the can or something. Or what do you go for it, Amy? You
It's like
explain.
bent, dented.
Yeah, bent.
It's like the can's bent in, so I think the seal can be broken or some of the metal maybe can get I don't know exactly the
Oh,
science behind it, but the can
like
is,
in the
like,
middle.
smashed in. Yeah, mhm, and you're
Oh,
not supposed to eat those,
oh,
really.
we don't have
So, I
that.
like when she's like, "You need to finish that."
Oh, well,
And
thankfully,
you're,
I
like,
don't think
rethinking
we have that. We just have
Yeah.
cans that open on the top. I mean,
Yeah, we do, but like, okay, if you throw your can of beans on the floor, it might not burst everywhere. It'll just get a dent
yeah,
in it.
no.
Yeah.
Huh,
And then like I would
okay.
still eat them, but Amy would not.
Uh, yeah, on the floor, I don't know. I mean, I've eaten things from the floor, so I mean, I
All
can't
right.
talk that much.
Uh-oh. Hot take.
Well,
I
there's
Hot
no
take.
yes,
talk
yeah,
Okay. Well, Clance makes a comic book out of her and Max's adventures at the factory. I thought that was really cool. I'm not even like a comic book person, but she's obviously super talented.
she is. I was like, oh my god. I mean, I used to draw when I was younger, and I love like the comic art drawings. So I was like, wow, she's so damn good. Like, she should actually put that out there. And I love that
Yeah.
Max told her, like, send it to the Defender. I was like, yes, dude. Like, what are you waiting for?
Yeah,
You're
I wonder if
awesome.
they're gonna have her like maybe pretend to be a man or something, or maybe she doesn't have to. I don't know. That's just my
Mm,
guess for the 1940s. But yeah, I
well,
wonder if
yeah.
they'll continue that in season 2, her career as a comic book.
Hmm, hope so.
or, like,
Yeah.
initial yeah. Yeah, I like that they empowered each woman in the show in a different way.
Yeah.
And at the same time, though, they didn't make them all, angels that had no flaws. They all, Clance did not react well to Bert. Max also didn't treat Bert well at various points, and
Yeah.
so they have challenges, they have imperfections, they have flaws, but like you said, they have ways to like win,
Yeah.
symbolically.
They're real fucking women. I love it. So
And they all had
good.
Yes.
growth, yeah. Oh, I was just saying, like, we had the coach and we got to see Carson's growth then. So each character we got to see grow, which doesn't always happen in one season in a show like that.
Yeah, and even a lot of the side characters we saw growth in them. Like by the end of the finale, surely. So that's really
Yeah.
fun. So the Peaches actually win a couple games, and in the process, they start filling the stands more, very much a la the movie. I loved that little nod. I thought it worked just as well in the show as it did in like it pumped me up. I was like, yes, they're gonna win.
Yeah.
We
Even
also got the. Oh,
the
go
fans-
ahead, Amy.
I said, even the creeps became fans.
Yeah. Wait, did you see that guy who was like harassing Greta or something?
There were some men in there that I thought were like in this, not maybe the exact harasser, but that were the same extras. So
I love
He
it.
was there. I didn't see him. I was like, what? Is she there? Oh, that asshole shouldn't have been invited in anymore.
he was there. You didn't see him. He was in the shadows.
Okay.
We also get the famous slide and bruise shot, and in the show it's on Greta's leg, and I remember that was like one of the most memorable scenes from the movie when they show that huge bruise. One of the earlier recappers, I can't remember, maybe it was Ro, had been like, "Oh, I hope we get to see this," and so I was glad they put that in.
Sadly, I didn't watch the movie before I watched the show. I actually did it after. So all the little things, even Rosie O'Donnell being there, I was like, I know her from something. And it was from the L Word because I
Right.
hadn't watched the movie. So I didn't know that she had been in the movie. So I did it backwards. But then I watched the movie and I was like, oh, there she is. Now I get it.
But wait,
So
that's
yeah.
a good idea. I think I might just watch the movie now and see if I catch any other things. Like, I wonder what the movie will feel like after the show.
Yeah, I saw a lot of similarities and I was like, oh, the Peaches, they're also called Peaches. So it was very much the same, which I didn't know because I had never watched that. I mean, what is baseball? I had no fucking clue what that was. Um, I did kind of know, but not a lot. So yeah, it was great to get to see that in the actual movie and see all of the similarities. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome that you like ended up watching. So you have this like totally different perspective than me and
Yeah.
Amy. We get a nice moment between Vivian and Greta. Vivian offers Greta a job, like, all the for the most part, except for when we'll get to it, we'll get to the cliffhanger. But the girls are like they end like very empowered, as you said, Amy. Greta too.
Yeah. I'm scared about that. I don't know what to expect from that job. I was like, okay, she's getting a job there with that woman that is very like strict about looks and how a woman should be. So I don't know what to expect from that, but I hope we get some glimpse into that job and what it entails or something.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll explore that a little bit. Maybe in the opening episode of season 2,
Yeah.
we'll see Greta in New York doing whatever she's doing.
Maybe. Yeah.
We get a more serious scene between Max and Edgar, Max's dad, where he says, "I've always believed in you. It was just hard to believe in the world."
Yes. I actually took that as a note because I love when he said that, and it was so real. Like, I mean, you have the talent, we know this, but I mean, it's up to the world if they let you in to show it. So I love that he said that because it was a hard world.
Yeah. And I'm sure none of them imagined a Black woman could play
Yeah.
professional baseball.
Yeah. Even in the movie when I watched it, I mean, I love that Abby and well, all of them always reference the part when they say the woman that she just grabs the ball and throws it, and that's it. That's all we see of her. And then we finally get Max that she's actually doing it. She's actually here and having that moment for herself, which I loved.
Yeah, and it's really important that we have that representation because we didn't have it in the movie. So we can put it in the show. It's good. It's not, all these let's not even get into the straight men who are hating on it that haven't seen the show. Let's see, Amy, even though Edgar's cool, Tony, not so much. She kind of accepts Max's new hair, but just really seems to not be able to accept the base, that she's going to be playing baseball and she's going to be living her life how she wants to live it.
Yeah, she's like, hair and baseball, way too much.
Pick Max! That's how she's feeling.
Way too queer ones. I can't. I gotta go. I love how she wants to give her the shop. She's like, I always knew, so I give you the shop.
Yeah.
It's like it's a beautiful thing, but it's also like, well, she's a little bit queer.
I always knew you were maybe a homo, so here's a salon.
Yeah. Well, I love that about Tony, though, because it really shows that she cares about her so much, that she knows who she is deep down, and she wants to help her. Even though it's not that she doesn't accept, I mean, in a way, maybe she doesn't, but in a way, she does know who she is, but she just wants her to be okay.
I don't know. I think it's an interesting discussion. Like, does she accept Max? I mean, I think at this point, we're half hour in. We can maybe jump a little ahead. She ends up kind of deciding to mother clans. I don't know what's going on with Tony, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean,
relationship so much because it's complex.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's relatable too. You're kind of going like, am I accepted? Yes, no. I think that's just so relatable because some families, they may grow, like they have some growth but then there's still, it's a process, I think, so I think that's pretty cool that they showed it in its complexity. And then they gave her, the dad being fully supportive and that beautiful, cute relationship. It's great to see she has that support, but then see the complexity that you can relate to as a viewer watching.
Yeah.
That's a good point. In most TV and movies, we either get, the parent is now going to all the prides and they're totally accepting, or they're like, I cut you off.
Yeah.
You're dead to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing, and that's not always like that.
Yeah. I think Tony is that perfect thing of I love you, but it's hard for me, but I still love you and I still want to help you and I still want you to be okay. I want to protect you from this awful world, but I still don't know how to feel about this side of you. But I think that's pretty much how a parent a lot of times reacts to this. It's a process to acceptance. And I don't know. I think Tony is an interesting character, and to see that relationship with Max is pretty interesting. And I hope we get to see more of that in the future.
Me too. Me too. Well, Max ends up going. Oh, go ahead, Amy.
I was just gonna say, yeah, she has like her trauma. She, like you said, she's trying to protect her, and she pulls out those cards, and it shows so much that she's been through. She's trying to save her from, and I mean, I'm basically saying the same thing, but it's nice to show that whole backstory to go with it, why she feels that way.
Yes.
Yeah, because her story with Bert, I mean, it's kind of that she brings in, like, I mean, we have that conversation with Bert after that. It's like, it's not that I didn't, she kind of says that it's not that I didn't accept you. I just hated that you left and left me alone. So that made me kind of be like, okay, maybe Tony does accept Bert in a way, but it's not just about that.
Devil's advocate, though. Okay, am I crazy? Or was Tony like, when I first realized who Bert was and how Tony felt about Bert, I almost thought like Tony was like embarrassed. Do you believe that it's just totally has nothing to do with Bert being trans?
I think I think fans have that thing where they drive you crazy and they drive you away, but then they miss you. But then, I mean, because she was like, come inside. She didn't want anyone to see. Yeah. I mean, I go into is it dangerous or is it embarrassment too?
Yeah. It's hard to know with her. Like, yeah, I was wondering that. Like, is it because she's afraid of society, or it's because she doesn't accept you? Because I mean, she still cares about Bert, I think, and I mean, it's her brother, and it's a person she loves, but definitely society wasn't nice, and especially not nice to Black women and Black men. So it's definitely hard for her maybe to see her sibling like that in society. I don't know if it's not because she doesn't fully accept him. I mean, yeah, it was hard for me to understand her. I think it's complex. She's a complex person and dealing with something in that road of acceptance. So,
yeah, I agree with Amy, and I think I agree with you too, Agus, in that it's probably hard to tell actually, and it probably is like a mixture of both. And
emotions are hard.
Yeah. Well, back at the Peaches quarters, Shirley kisses Carson. She goes from let's get all the gays, round them up, call the police, to just planting one on her. And then she's like, I'm not attracted to you.
I was like, I think my face just went like, what just happened? Like, I couldn't understand. I think I was perplexed for a second there. Shirley, what the hell? And I love that. Then she was like, I'm not queer. I don't like you. I'm not interested in you. And I'm like, and Shirley's like, that's not how this works. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah.
But to be fair, she learned that that's not how this works through the test.
Yes, exactly.
Amy, have you ever engaged in a kiss test to see if you have the hots for someone?
No. That sounds like that would have been a terribly awkward ending. I've had enough awkwardness. Not anymore.
I do have to say, I have this one story. Probably the worst kiss I ever had in my life was when I was pretending I wasn't gay. And this poor nice guy, this poor comedian, and I went on a date with him, and we had obviously a terrible kiss. It was so bad. He literally was like, that was terrible. And then he was like, let me do that again. And I was shocked too, because he just planted one on me again. I was like, why are you doing this again? It didn't work the first time. So I even couldn't take that. I totally understand Carson being like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
She's like, I don't want that. Your coach.
That
was total brilliant. That was like coming through.
I didn't want that to happen. I mean, what? Yeah, same. I didn't want that to happen either, but that was funny though.
The final game of the season is upon us, and one of the highest moments of the episode, in my opinion. They're all out front of their house, and Jess starts singing the big Batter Up song that originally we hear in the movie. And Esty joins in, and all the players begin singing. And what did you two make of the Amazon Prime version of Batters Up or Batter Up?
I mean, I like the original, so I feel like I'm trying to. I think it was great because I'm going to be nostalgic for the original. So I thought they did a great job.
And
That
I was,
and wasn't like the original's better, you know.
yeah, and I was like, what the hell is happening?
Because you never seen the movie at the time.
I was like, what are they doing? And I'm like, oh damn, they have good harmonies, dude. That's nice.
Have they been practicing singing at night?
I was like, damn, Esty. I mean, Esty just went high on that note, and I was like, damn, girl, that was great. But I had no idea what they were singing. I was like, we have Canadians. How we sing this? Like, oh, we all American. I was like, yeah, dude, it's great.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I might have been a little lost if I hadn't seen the movie too. Like, what?
Yeah. Then I was like, oh, okay. It was from the movie.
Where did they who wrote this song?
It just happened.
It just came upon them. Was it improvised? Is that what we're supposed to?
I was so lost. If you see my face on the reaction, I was like, okay, great. Yeah, they sing well.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been on a lot of teams. You have too, Amy. I don't know. Is it realistic that everybody would sound really good and be able to harmonize?
No, unless there was someone mouthing the words.
Right.
Oh gosh.
Okay, you tell me about this, you two. Speaking of being a little thrown off, I was thrown off when Heart starts playing. I mean, like, it's not as if they've been blasting Hot and Her, like some Nelly or some Kanye, like when they're, all of a sudden, I mean, I'm not hating on Barracuda. I mean, who doesn't love a little Barracuda? But it was like the only time they used a modern song, right? Or am I crazy?
Other modern songs.
There is.
Now remember which ones they were, but I remember thinking, oh, the soundtrack's like modern, but it's not modern today. So it was like a lot of 70s stuff were in there. I'm trying to think what else.
Oh, I just completely missed that then.
Oh, yeah, because I remember thinking like this is surprising because it's not current and it's not from that time period, but it kind of works because if it was too current, it'd be weird. But yeah, I can't remember now. I wish I remembered and would have written down the names.
But Barracuda, that's like 80s, right? No, 70s.
Yeah, there might have been some 80s too.
Oh.
Now I'd have to go back and listen to it. I wonder if the soundtrack's anywhere.
So, Amy, you think because it's like 70s and not like a song from 2 years ago, it's fine?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a little weird, but the music choices were like, they were songs that I loved. So I was like, well, they picked really good music. I don't know.
I love that. No.
From back then, it might have been difficult.
Yeah. I mean, I love when they put current music on old stuff. Like, I'm a huge Dickinson fan, and I love that in Dickinson they do that a lot, and they put very current music, something that is like a period time thing.
Do they also do older music too on Dickinson? I've seen like some episodes, but I can't remember.
I mean, not that I know of. I'm not that knowledgeable in music, and especially international. But I mean, the ones that I heard, I think they're very like, I don't know, poppy or rocky. So it's very current, I think. And there's a lot of music I know. So yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if it just feels weird because like it's sometimes the old music and then sometimes the newer. But I agree, it's not like a deal breaker or anything. And it gets, especially in this moment, you're like pretty pumped up when Barracuda starts. So so we get the big game, and I really feel like it's the Peaches versus Joe DeLuca. Which of course is on purpose, as Joe is the only player on their team we're familiar with.
Yeah.
It is almost the movie too. The sister getting treated, she's like her sister. Oh, so I thought that was pretty cool the way they did it.
Right.
Yes. Halfway through the game, we get a really good scene between Bert and Tony. We kind of already talked about that. Actually, I don't know if we need to, unless you guys have something else you want to add.
I mean, I think I loved about that scene. I actually took a note about what they said, that Bert said to her, like, uh that you were the most dangerous person because you were the one telling me to give a part of myself up to stay here. And I gotta say, I don't know exactly all of what Bert said, but I truly loved it. I think it was like so powerful, that thing of like, I loved you, but like you were dangerous to me because you were asking me to stop being who I am, and that was gonna, it kind of killed me in that sense. So I don't know. I just love that scene and what he said.
Yeah, it was a really powerful scene, and I also took note of Bert warning Tony. Sort of after they maybe vent a little bit to each other. At the end,
Mhm.
Bert says, "If you don't make this right, Max is not going to come back to your door."
Yeah, yeah. She's gonna lose her. She pushes and pushes. I mean, she's gonna lose Max like she lost Bert.
Has
Yeah.
she lost Bert for good?
I mean,
What do you think we see in season 2? Can they reconcile?
I think there's always room for improvement.
Okay, there's some hope there.
Yeah.
Well, Max is heading off with the All Stars team, and Clance, as well as the new roommate Cheryl, they're there to see her off too. I really love the dynamic. I mean, Max and Clance is the best. I mean, we need more Max, but since Max is kind of getting to be a star now, the second best thing is Clance and Cheryl, because oh my God, does Cheryl drive Clance crazy? I really hope we see more of them in season 2, and this isn't like a throwaway character. Like I hope Cheryl stays.
Yeah. It's just kind of crazy, but it's a fun character. It's a fun dynamic. Like
She's
she's
pretty
like,
over the top.
yeah. I mean, the napkins that she gave Clarence with a name on it. I mean, why would you do that? But okay. I mean, you're weird like that. It's
Yeah,
okay.
just letting her weirdo fly. So then we get the final goodbye between Max and Clance. I also thought Clance maybe had was this Clance's best episode? Maybe. I mean, I feel like Bemisola Ikumelo, I'm trying to pronounce her name right. The actor who plays Clance just really nails the comedic timing in this episode.
Yeah.
Her timing is impeccable.
So back at the championship game, Lupe seems to have lost her steam. But then Carson reminds her to breathe, and that totally does the trick.
So easy.
I loved the double steal her and Esty did. You know, I wanted to get your take on this, August. They're speaking Spanish to each other, and at one
Yeah.
point, is it the coach who says like, or who says
No,
stop
I
talking?
think it's a player that is next to
Okay,
them, I think. And
yeah.
she
Oh,
was like, they're yelling in code, and I was like, what? That's just fucking Spanish, dude. Like, what is the code here? I was like, I understand the code, so yeah, it's not code, honey.
you're a code breaker.
Yeah. I'm super smart, sorry. But yeah, that was hilarious though. But I was like, come on, dude. You're
So-
not that far away from Spanish speaking people, so
and like, not to get too serious because there's a lot of fun and stuff going on, but it kind of reminds me of how in America we have so many ignorant people who don't want to hear people talking in Spanish. We have such a large Spanish speaking population. Like, we should know
yeah.
Spanish.
I mean, the US doesn't have an official language. So, and I looked it up once, and English is not the official language of the United States. And yeah, kind of half of the population speaks Spanish as well. I mean,
Yeah.
colonies, if it's about history, there's a lot of Spanish speakers there. So, yeah, it's weird that they do that. I mean, I always hear that, and it's like, why?
It's sad that that kind of attitude persists to this day.
Yeah. I love people talking in other languages in my country. I'm like, oh my God, they're speaking English. Or, oh my God, they're speaking German. I'm like, what? I'm surprised and I love it.
Me too. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. I didn't know English wasn't our official language. I learned something today. I've learned
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah. Many countries don't have official languages. It's pretty weird. I don't think my country has an official language. I
Oh,
mean,
really?
no, we just speak Spanish because of historical things, colonies,
Right.
Spanish
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When the game ended up one run away from ending the championship, I kind of felt like I knew they were going to have Joe win the game for the Blue Sox. It's the same way the movie ends. As Amy mentioned earlier, they trade Joe, similar to in the movie. They trade Kit, and then we get this ending. But then I was really shocked because as Joe is going around the bases, she like breaks her ankle jogging on the bases. Amy, I found this to be like a little goofy for them to have the Peaches then Cool Runnings Joe into home plate.
I was like, she can't catch a break.
Poor Joe.
Beat up again.
Oh my God.
That was brutal when they showed that ankle. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I did play baseball, so I don't know if I can really speak to it. I've seen some broken bones in soccer, but yeah, I don't know. It was a little cheesy, Cool Runnings, but it was kind of, I enjoyed it. I'll admit it.
Okay.
I don't know. I thought it was a good way to tie back the movie again, and I don't know. I mean, it was a little over the top, but what are they gonna do? Just leave her there? Be like, you arrested, and beat up and traded, and
oh, you're right.
And just hope you're doing well.
Well, in the bonus video, Abby Jacobson mentions she got the idea for this plot line from her dad, who happened to who heard about this softball game where in a championship softball game, I guess this happened, but yeah, I don't know. Agus, what did you think about the feel good carry Joe in? We're all one. We're still.
I loved it. I was crying like a bitch, honestly. Oh my God. Editing the reaction, I was crying again. Every time I watch it, I cry. I'm like, I'm a soppy. How you say it? Soppy. I get soppy about it. I don't know the
sop, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, like I don't know how you say it.
Sop.
Soppy sop. Yeah. When I watch that, I mean, it's just I don't know. I find it so beautiful because it's their friend. It's someone they care about and love, and she did what she did. She won. She deserves the win. I mean, we can't just leave her there. I mean, she did it. She's amazing, and she deserves that. So, I mean, after everything she went through, let's give her this win, please, and let's put her up there and say she did this. I mean, I loved it. I got all cryy about it. It was great.
Agree to disagree. I love Joe, and I thought it was. I thought it didn't need it. I thought we don't need the Cool Running. I know I keep referencing this. August, have you seen the movie Cool Runnings?
No.
Okay, this is you're too young, and also I don't know how popular in Uruguay Cool Runnings is, but it's there's a famous scene at the end of the movie where these Jamaican bobsledders carry their bobsled in, and it's like a beautiful moment. That's why I keep referencing it.
What's a bobs?
This is okay. So it's a Winter Olympic sport where you get in a sled on an ice chute and you go like 1,000,000 miles an hour, like really fast.
Oh, okay. Nice. I don't have mountains here, so I don't know how that works. But yeah,
they don't have them in Jamaica. They don't bobsled in Jamaica either. So it was a pretty interesting plot.
Love that. Okay. I'll have to watch it.
But accurate, just like I guess apparently the show. Seems
what was that?
I don't know if that part was historically accurate carrying across, but some of the movie from Cool Runnings was based off real things that happened to that team.
Oh, I didn't really know that.
Yeah, so the fact that I guess it makes sense if that story was real that her dad was telling, then it ties.
It is real, yeah. And I Googled this because, like I said, I was like, what? And yeah, this stuff happens. It happens in baseball. It's happened, with men. The people have hurt themselves jogging after hitting a home run. So
Well, awesome if they helped her get there. I love that because it was so cute. I can't.
Max calls Clance from a payphone at the hotel. And like I said, that's when we learned Tony is over at Clance's. I was like, why can't Tony just support Max? But I think this is setting up maybe a season 2 plot line.
Yeah. I mean, she did said kind of like she needs to find herself or something, and she did. She does. I mean, she needs to do what she loves and then see who she is in that element, I think. And I don't know if Tony is saying that to kind of support her or like she's gonna face reality and come back or how she meant it. But I mean, I'm happy that whatever happens to Max, at least she's gonna try and do what she loves. And if it goes well, great. And if it doesn't, well, that's just hitting reality, I guess. But I think she deserves a try.
Oh, yes. Well, the Peaches didn't win, but Sarge still lets them party after the game. She even gives Jess her money back for all the fines she incurred during the season. What a cool character Sarge is.
I love that scene. That was great.
Yeah.
And then they confirm the whole movie. You're like, she's got to be queer, right? And you're like, and then, yeah, right.
I was going to ask you, is we have to take care of our own? Is that line like Sarge saying like women, or is it, you think, Amy, you think it means that she's gay or queer?
I took it as queer. I mean, I think it could mean both, women too. But the fact that she gave her the money back for the fines, that specific.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I thought that too, yeah.
You thought it meant that she was queer?
I mean, actually, not when I was watching it, but when I was editing the reaction, I was like, okay, wait. She meaning she's queer, so I put it. Is she queer? Like I wrote it. Like I was like, yeah, maybe, because I was so confused about Sarge. Because I was confused about her kicking Show out of the team, but then someone explained to me, like, yeah, she kicked her out, but she didn't put her name on the list of inverts or something. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah.
She like kind of saves Joe.
Yeah, she was kind of protecting her. So I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense now. And then she does this for Shez, and I'm like, yeah, she probably is queer. I mean, she saves Show from being queer, like from her being in the list, and now Shez. So I'm like, I think there's a high probability.
Have you ever watched a show with this many queer characters that's not the L word?
No. I don't think so.
Like, I can't believe it. And it's great. I love it.
Yeah.
It is accurate. According to May, all the way May, she said like, what, 2/3 of the league was gay or something, or queer.
Right. Yeah, I thought Legends of Tomorrow was one of the shows that I watched that had a lot of queer characters, but there were like 3 or 4, and that was like a lot to me. Mm-hmm. And then we have this, and it's like, okay, you're queer, and then you're queer, and then you're queer too, and that's queer
and
too.
Maybe you're queer, and then like you don't even know.
Yes, he was like, oh my gosh, yeah.
During the party, Greta asked Carson to go to New York with her, and for some reason, Carson waits till the last possible second to give her an answer. Amy, Carson can't go with Greta to New York. She can only make out with her on the side of the house, which Charlie happens to see. He's right there.
Broad daylight on the porch.
What is she thinking? What is happening? Why did she wait so? First of all, why did she wait so long to give Greta the answer?
I think she was, she's still deciding. Yeah. But I don't know if she's really gonna, if that opportunity is still there. I don't know.
Because of the job, or
I don't know. I wonder if something's gonna happen. I just have a feeling. I don't know.
Well, something has to happen. Like Charlie just busted his wife.
Well, yeah,
making out with a woman. Like, how do they react to this in the 1940s?
Yeah,
to see because they kind of made him seem cool, and the letter, we don't really know how detailed the letter goes. Like they bring it up, but they don't go through the whole thing. So yeah, I don't know. I could see it going different ways, but yeah, I mean, obviously,
I mean, if he screams or something, Greta's gonna hear. She's gonna turn around. I mean, I don't know if Greta's gonna because Greta is walking away when he appears. So I don't know if she's gonna hear something and turn around. I mean, I'm picturing things. If that happens, if Greta's gonna stay, is she still gonna leave? What is Carson gonna do? Because she wanted to leave by herself. I mean, I don't know what she's gonna do now that she has to confront Charlie. So
you two both think like there's a possibility that Charlie like just goes Hulk and like starts screaming and yelling because he seems so like meek throughout most of the show.
Yeah, I don't see him screaming though, but maybe he talks loud.
Yeah.
It's like, but yeah, I mean, he did hear Carson say like, no, who said like you opened me up, Carson? Greta said, and then Shaw said something like, oh, what was it?
Right, he overheard stuff. He didn't just see the kiss.
Yeah, and like
hurtful stuff.
You know, and they touched each other's faces, and they're like so cuddly there. And I mean, he saw all of that. I don't know how he's gonna swallow that. I mean,
but
I
what do you
know.
think of the decision to have this be a cliffhanger, have this kind of end our season? Because like everything was going too good. I like it. I was like, okay, you can't have it all be too perfect. It's like 1940s. We got all these queers. Like, come on.
It was inevitable, really, I think. The whole time it's in the back of her mind. She doesn't know what she's gonna do. Like this just brings it all to the front. I thought it was a great way to end it. Yeah. Give you the suspense and address.
Yeah.
You have to deal with this, and that's gonna be the second season. I thought it was a great ending. But him showing up, he's supposed to be at home.
Yeah.
True. It's your own fault, Charlie. If you'd have just stayed at home, you wouldn't have seen this.
Yeah. I mean, he made it look like he left so she could do her thing. But yeah, he showed up and he wasn't supposed to be there. So
but if you're Carson, can you really bring that up? I think you like okay, but you did bad stuff too. There's not as bad, maybe.
I don't know. In a way, maybe Charlie will understand. Maybe he'll hear her out. I don't know. I think that he could. I don't know if he's a good listener, but I think they did talk a bit in the hotel, and she was talking to him, and he was kind of listening to what she was saying. So I don't know. Maybe she'll tell him, like, I'm having these feelings. I don't know what it is. I'm trying to figure myself out, and maybe he'll understand it. Or maybe that's a bit hopeful.
I don't know. He didn't understand the money. He's the type of guy that doesn't, he's like, oh, money?
Yeah.
You don't even need me.
Yeah, it's the 40s, so maybe he won't.
Is that person even exist as a straight man in the 40s? Is there any way he's going to tolerate this? Maybe. We'll see.
Maybe.
It might be less of an ego bruise if he thinks she's gay. But I don't know, the 40s, that's more modern thinking, like a guy being like, oh, nothing to do with me, you're gay.
Like, right? It's not about me.
Bye. And they'll be like, oh, well, you're gay. That's why you don't like me. Nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
Actually, no, but
you're like, no, it's you. It's just you.
Yeah.
But 1940s, I don't know how understanding he's going to be. I mean, he had some health issues. Maybe he would. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do with this character because they make him seem kind of cool, but also a man.
But that's great. That's what's great about this show is nobody is a caricature. They're realistic. This is how real people are. You have a husband who is a really great guy who maybe reacts terribly in real life. And like, that's what happened. Like, that's just humans are complex.
Yeah. I love that about Charlie, actually. And they made him a good guy because if they make him an asshole, it's easier to hate him and want him gone. But when he's actually good, you're like, oh, like, sucks also because he's actually a great guy, but that's the complexity and that's actual life because usually, well, I don't know if usually, but I mean, sometimes guys are not assholes and they're actually good people that are going to listen to you and are going to
Listeners,
respond.
believe it or not, every blue moon, a guy is not an asshole.
Yeah, believe
Part
it
not
happens, guys. It happens sometimes. But yeah.
So I'd like to hear from both of you your sort of overall thoughts on season 1 of A League of Their Own.
I loved it. Yeah, I thought it was great. Like, I don't know. I was trying to think of more critiques on it, and I was like, they did a great job. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, they did. I could see maybe some people being a little overwhelmed by it, but like old fans of the movie being like, "Whoa, what is this?" But they described it in the description that it was going to be different, and it was great to see that many queer characters. I thought it was funny too. I usually don't love dramas. I'm usually more of a comedy person, and the fact that they didn't take away from any of the dramatic writing. Dramatic writing was amazing, but it was still funny throughout the whole time. So yeah, I was so impressed by it. Yeah, I'm hoping it just gets the second season. Is it been announced?
No, it
No.
hasn't.
That's the only.
Yeah. Amy, you mentioned the comedy. As a comedian, as somebody who does improv and sketch and all kinds of stuff, do you think they're improvising ever? Or do you see scenes or lines that you think are improvised, or do you think most of it's scripted?
I felt like it was scripted. I could see maybe taking a line and making it your own kind of improv a little bit, like changing the words around slightly. But from what I gathered, it looked pretty scripted to me.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Oh.
August, what are your thoughts on season 1?
I loved it. Honestly, since I didn't watch the movie, I couldn't compare it too much. So it was just great. I finished it and I was like, I don't know, I want to meet Abby Jacobson because she killed it. I mean, with what she created and how much she took from the movie and made it special and actually dwell more into. I mean, I was amazed by it all, and I had fun. I love dramedies. I don't know how that's how you say it, but like the drama and the comedy, I just enjoy it so damn much, and I just love the funny moments, love the drama. I think it has a bit of everything, and like Shaw said, like, will I see you in season 2? To Greta, I'm like hoping yes, we see each other in season 2 because it was great. Like next season, we need it. We need more of them.
We were talking go ahead, Amy.
I was gonna say, was that like a wink? You think, like, will I see you in season 2? Like, was this good enough?
I was like, yes, season 2, because she said to her, "See you next season," to Greta, and I was like, yes.
Maybe they've already got the light. We just don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I will say, would they end it this way if they hadn't at least an inkling that it might be, because like with the L Word, like they didn't announce it until really late that it was getting a third season. And from what I understand, the reason they ended the L Word season 2 on a cliffhanger was because like Showtime basically told them, yeah, we're going to probably give you a season 3. That's one of the reasons I think we're getting a season 2 is like the cliffhanger. And then I think it's been doing pretty well too.
Yeah, I think it did. But I don't know, because recently I'm pissed because they have canceled a lot of shows that ended with cliffhangers, and like The Wilds, Paper Girls. I was reacting to both of them. Then they canceled something else. First Kill too. So I'm like, I don't know. Anything could happen
Jack,
here.
we've had a lot. They've canceled Work in Progress this year. They've canceled a lot of women-loving women shows.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
Writer, you're gonna want to write it with that cliffhanger to get people intrigued to watch the second season. So, but maybe that like I'll see you means like they're pretty sure. I'm hoping.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, they have gotten a lot of interviews in a lot of shows. So in the late things, they're in the States. Like, so I'm like, they're having a lot of promotions. Something that the other shows that got canceled didn't. So here's hoping that they will get a season 2.
That's a good point, August. We at the beginning of the podcast we kind of were talking about our favorites. Should we all list off who our favorite is? I mean, I might know who August is.
I'm not sure. Like,
Oh, really? It's not Greta?
I was Greta. I was like, oh, Greta. But then I met Carson and I was like, oh, Carson.
My girlfriend does not like Greta.
What? Why not?
What?
She's very like, oh, Greta. I don't know.
God.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to talk. I know Amy's girlfriend. We're gonna have to have a talk. I need to know why.
Oh my God. Greta is like the woman. I mean, she's great. I love her. I mean, I don't know. I love them both, but I think maybe Greta a bit more. I don't know.
Okay. What about
But
you,
I don't
Amy?
know.
I think it's Max.
Yeah. Cool character.
Yeah.
Very, very attractive too. That helps.
I liked how they showed the like some of the like the Negro League, how they had to do the tricks and all that, and background noise, cat feeder.
Nice.
But yeah, I liked how they showed. I don't know, just so much she went through. The actor herself, I think, did a good job. I think you could kind of tell which actors were queer, but I thought
Really?
her character.
Okay. I don't really know. I mean, besides Abby Jacobson, who is engaged, I believe, to her partner.
No.
I don't really know who is or isn't queer. I believe
I
Darcy's
think
married.
Melanie's queer, who plays Show. And someone said
Okay.
somewhere,
Oh, really? So Melanie is queer playing a straight character then. Interesting. Or no, wait, am I getting... Oh, sorry. I was thinking of Shirley.
Show. No. Melanie Fields, who plays Show DeLuca, she is queer.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Darcy, I don't think so. And who else?
Well, definitely, yeah, there's definitely more queer actors for sure.
Yeah, I think Roberta and Kelly, I don't know, that play Lupe and Chez.
Speaking of, I think my favorite, first half of the season, my favorite was Max. No, hands down. I was living through Max's eyes. I was rooting for Max the most. I wanted to see more Max. Second half, I think Lupe. I really enjoyed the journey we went on with Lupe. I enjoyed the dynamics with Lupe and Esty. I thought the little scene Lupe had in the gay bar was really cute when she loses her girl and then she's like moves on.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Lupe is awesome. And her scenes, I mean, I love the scene at the bar when she sees Carson there and she comes to the conclusion that she was with Greta.
She's like, but the height. Yeah.
Oh my God. I love that scene. That was hilarious.
Good. Hopefully they have a better nickname for her next year other than the Spanish striker.
I was pissed about that, honestly. It was like, she's not Spanish, dude. Seriously. She's Mexican.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah, that annoyed me.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Any other thoughts on season 1 or anything particular you hope about season 2?
Gretchen Endgame.
Like you want to see a wedding?
Yeah.
A secret
wedding. Yes. Please, I need them. Totally. Oh, and we didn't say this, I think, but Clancy is pregnant.
Yes.
She's pregnant. I didn't know this. Like,
when do we learn about Clance getting pregnant?
No, I think we have a glimpse at it when she faints at the church. And then they said that is because she found the letter that her husband goes to war. And that's the reason why she was feeling like that. But here we get the thing that she is actually pregnant when she's with Tony. And I was like,
right.
Oh my God,
okay.
She's pregnant. And she didn't tell her husband or Max because they had to leave.
But she did know before he left for war.
Yeah. That's what I'm getting at, I think.
Okay.
That was the conclusion that that's how I came to it in the last episode. Like, oh, okay, so she didn't tell him because he had to leave. So that's the reason.
Yeah, and I also wonder, are they going to do more with Clance and her husband, or I wonder how they're going to have that relationship turn out, because I guess he's, it wouldn't be realistic for him to come back this early. So, but that'll be interesting for season 2. So she's for sure pregnant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she told Tony, I don't know how to do this.
Right.
I didn't have a good mother. And she was like, well, and Tony was like, I'm here to help you or something. And so yeah, she's pregnant. I'm scared that the husband dies.
Oh, I know. I didn't. I hope not.
I'm
scared for him with his glasses.
Yes.
Like that scene where he admitted like he was scared about having glasses. I had glasses growing up, and I was like, that would be so scary. Yeah. So
I have glasses. I can't take them off. I don't see anything. So I get his fear of losing his glasses.
Yeah. Not a good time and place to lose them either. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I hope that doesn't happen. I hope they don't do that with his character.
Or maybe he can lose them, but he gets them back.
Yeah. Maybe it's like a scare too. They'll say like, "Oh, she won't hear from him," but then we'll get a finally he comes home moment, like a la Gina Davis and was that Bill Pullman? Anyways, yeah.
Oh boy.
All right. Well, listeners,
the scary part of the show.
Yeah. Should we end on that?
Yeah. That's it, guys.
She really gets into she's free. Something lighter and silly.
All right, listeners, if and when A League of Their Own comes back, I will be back right there recapping the episodes with you. I do feel good about a season 2, so I'm like practically already scheduling my guests for next season. That's how I feel. So I do want to thank my 2 amazing guest hosts, Agus and Amy, for coming on to the podcast. Give both of them a follow on Instagram. Agus is at Agus Leilap, and Amy at Amy Nico Schwartz. That's at Amy Nico Schwartz. Go right now to YouTube, subscribe to Leilap, get all her fun reactions, then go over to Bad Waves Radio, subscribe there, support queer creators, support queer artists, and of course, all of this will be in the description for you. Don't forget Chicagoans, October 7th, Bad Waves Remix will be live at Redline Virtual Reality. That is going to be a lot of fun this Friday. Stand-up comedy, music, improv, visual arts. Make sure you come check that out this Friday night in Chicago. Thank you, both of you, for making this finale a really fun recap.
Thank you for having us.